People always say, students always say, sorry, that Wrexham's a great place to focus on your studies because you don't have so many distractions as you do in some of those major cities. But an advantage is you're so close to those cities. You can take advantage of all the employment prospects that are there. So Wrexham actually is first in Wales and one of the top in the UK for its graduate employment prospects. And 85% of our international students actually find employment after they graduate. So that is because we're close to those major cities, which have, loads and loads of companies that students can find employment in.
Can we talk about your tuition?
Absolutely, yeah. So Wrexham's probably the most competitive university in the UK when it comes to tuition fees. Our undergraduate fees are £11,750 per year. Our MA and MSc is £12,500. And we also offer an MBA, which is slightly more at £13,000.
All right, welcome to Study Across Globe. Today I have here with me a representative from Wrexham University. My name is Vincent Abuka, and we'll be having discussion regarding the opportunities within Wrexham University's Wales. So my name is Vincent Abuka.
Hi Vincent, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. It's a pleasure having you here. What's your name?
My name is Matt, and I'm the International Recruitment Officer from Wrexham University for Africa.
Wrexham University, Africa. So today we'll be discussing about Wrexham. So I would like you to tell us about Wrexham Universities, the opportunities within Wrexham, and your unique selling points.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, so I'll just kick off and start talking about Wrexham then, shall I? So Wrexham's a really unique institution. So when you think of the UK, we're in Wales, and we're about 10 minutes drive away from the English border, which gives us like a real geographic advantage because we're only about 45 minutes from Liverpool. We're an hour from Manchester. We have direct trains to London. We're close to a city called Chester where there's multiple direct trains to London a day. We're less than 2 hours from Birmingham. So we're really conveniently located for students to take advantage of all the UK has to offer. Right? As well, though, Wrexham's really interesting because as well as it being so close to those major urban centres and being a city itself, Wrexham's actually in North Wales, which is one of the most scenic parts of the UK as well. So in Wrexham itself, you can go climb mountains, you can see historic castles, you're not far from the beach, there's just fields everywhere where you can be by yourself. And students always say, sorry, that Wrexham's a great place to focus on your studies because you don't have so many distractions as you do in some of those major cities. But an advantage is you're so close to those cities. You can take advantage of all the employment prospects that are there. So Wrexham actually is first in Wales and one of the top in the UK for its graduate employment prospects. And 85% of our international students actually find employment after they graduate. So that is because we're close to those major cities, which have, loads and loads of companies that students can find employment in. But also Wrexham itself has the second largest industrial estate in Europe. And we have everything there from small one-man band operations to tech and finance SMEs, all the way up to global organizations like Tata Steel, like JCB, like Kellogg's. And the university maintains really strong relationships with all those companies. So if there's internship opportunities or employment opportunities, they'll often let us know first, and those opportunities will be given or passed on to the students to take advantage of. So employment is really big in Wrexham. And actually, when we teach our degrees, employment is at the core of it. You learn what the professionals do. You use the tools that the professionals use in their daily life. You practice problems that the professionals encounter. So everything is focused on employability.
Oh, wow. So your teaching, your lectures is industry focused.
Yes, very practically focused. Yeah.
That's a good one. So impressed. I'm so impressed with the opportunity that comes with Wrexham University. Okay, can we talk about your tuition? Because many students who are willing to come to Wrexham University will be interested to know about the tuition fee, like what they're going to pay, And if there are any discount that is going to be given to the student, either by merit or automatic. So we'd like you to, know, say something about your tuition fee. And,
Absolutely, yeah. So Wrexham's probably the most competitive university in the UK when it comes to tuition fees at the undergraduate and postgraduate level. So as a headline figure, our undergraduate fees are £11,750 per year. Our MA and MSc is 12,500. And we also offer an MBA, which is slightly more at 13,000. Okay. But what's really important is no student pays that much. 100% of students receive a scholarship in some form. Okay. At the undergraduate level, once a student has an offer, they receive an automatic scholarship of £2,000 annually, which brings
this
their
for
undergraduate, including foundation year, of £2,000 annually, which brings their tuition down to
About
£9,750, which is only slightly higher than a home student pays, actually.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah. And at the postgraduate level, once a student receives an offer, they get a £1,000 scholarship.
Yeah.
And if a student has the equivalent of a 2-1 in their home country's university or where they studied, then they'll receive an additional £1,000 merit scholarship.
Okay.
So potentially up to 2,000 at the
Up to 2,000. So that drops it to, if I'm correct, £10,500 for those who have 2-1 upward.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And for 2-2 below, and get 11,500.
11,500.
That's a 1,000 discount.
That's right, yes.
Oh, that's good. What's the minimum requirement?
For entry?
Yeah, for entry for both undergraduate and
Sure, that's a really good question. So for undergraduate, direct entry, we ask for a national diploma or an OND with 3.8 out of 4 or 4.5 out of 5. No, 3.5 out of 5, sorry. If they don't meet that requirement, then we can accept students on our foundation year. For the foundation year, for students from Nigeria, we can accept the WIAC or the NECO with C6 in 5 relevant subjects. One of the subjects needs to be English, and one of the subjects needs to be maths. Okay? For the postgraduate level, for direct entry, there's a few pathways. So we can accept a 2-2 classification for direct entry, or we can accept a HND or a third class degree, as long as they have 2 years of relevant work experience. So if you've been working in a business, you have a business undergraduate degree and you've been doing really business relevant work, and now you want to take the next step to maybe go to a managerial role, there's a very good chance you could get direct entry for that course. But if you don't have that work experience, that's fine too, because we can accept HND holders and third class degree holders on our pre-masters program. So if you're a fresh holder or you don't have that relevant work experience, there's still that pathway in Wrexham for you as well. And one thing I would mention is the study gap, because we're very flexible on that as well. Essentially, up to 20 years study gap at the postgraduate level we can accept, especially if it's less than 15 years, but up to 20 years on a case-by-case basis.
This is really wow. I must say it's really wow. It's okay, that's good. So would you like to talk about your accommodation? How is the accommodation like at University of Wrexham? So are there hostels? Are there off campuses? So how does students who are not familiar with this environment, so how are they being helped with their accommodation?
Absolutely, yeah. So we appreciate that when students come to study abroad for the first time, they're nervous, their parents are nervous, everyone's nervous, right? But we do have award-winning on-campus accommodation open to international students. And we do give international students priority as well, because they're making such a big journey. And at the minute, I believe it's split around 50-50 home students international. So if you do stay in that accommodation, you'll meet a wide range of people, both from overseas, your home country probably, and from the UK as well. It starts from £130 a week. That includes all bills. It includes unlimited high-speed Wi-Fi. There's 24/7 security. There's always someone to talk to there. Students get their own bedroom. They get their own bathroom, their own toilet, their own shower, so they don't have to share. And they share a living room and kitchen area where they can hang out with their fellow flatmates. And they have space in the fridge, their own cupboard, all that sort of thing. It's on campus. They have free parking, and they're about 5 minutes from class. So it's really, really convenient. It's about a 5-minute walk from the city centre and 2 minutes walk from the train station.
This is cool. This is really impressive. So, how about interview? Does Wrexham University conduct interview at any stage? This could be credibility interview or precast interview.
Interesting. So we do. We do ask students to do a credibility interview. This is after you get your unconditional offer. You'll be invited to something called CAS Shield, and you'll do a pre-recorded interview, okay, where you'll be asked some very natural questions just about, why you want to study in the UK, why Wrexham, just to learn more about why you want to come to the UK. We do appreciate students get nervous, and we can offer additional chances if we believe that's the case. So there's no reason to be nervous when doing the interview. It's a very natural interview, and everything's reviewed by human. It's not AI at all. Everything is reviewed by a human, so don't worry. You're not going to be caught out by a computer.
What's your admission turnaround time? Like, someone put an application today, so how long does it take to get response from this one?
So at the minute, we're on about 5 working days. We do try and keep it below that, but in busy times, it can get to 5 working days. What I would really encourage students to do, especially when they're working with you guys, is try and provide all the documents when you submit, because that way we're not waiting around for extra documents. The Study Across Globe, they know exactly the documents you need to provide. They can guide you. Once you provide all those documents, the sooner we can get you an unconditional offer.
What are these particular courses that stand University of Wrexham out from other universities or programs?
That's a really good question. So, Wrexham's good for international students because we offer that wide range of courses that appeals to international students, right? Like we offer those business courses, those computing courses, those engineering courses. And even in there, we recently invested £80 million into our campus. And that includes a brand new engineering research centre, which opened this September, which is one of the leading research centres for engineering in the UK. We have a cyber security centre, which is the only one of its kind in Wales for cyber research. So when it comes to cyber security, Wrexham's really strong on that. Engineering, it's really strong on that. Or business, actually. The university guides recently came out, and we rank higher than some of the other universities in the UK, in Wales, in terms of our business courses, such as higher than Chester, higher than Bangor. So our business courses are really strong. What I would say is Wrexham has a very famous football club. You may have heard it got bought by some Hollywood celebrities. And we have really strong links with the football team, the football stadium, and our sports courses are really unique. There's not many places in the UK where you can do those kinds of football courses, football coaching, sports training. So if you have any football fans or sports fans out there, Wrexham's a really good place for that sort of course too. I think that's a really strong, unique course that Wrexham offers.
Are there any recreational activities that's available for students in the campus?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have an international engagement officer whose job it is to keep the students engaged and satisfied. So they organize events all through the year for students. But outside of that, we have a student union, which has lots of societies based on interests that students are very welcome to join. As well as that, there's a gym on campus if students like to keep fit. And as well, there's loads of museums and galleries in Wrexham itself that students can go and see. Nature's just a stone's throw away if students enjoy nature. And again, if you want to go travel at the weekend or on your holidays, Liverpool's not far away, Manchester's not far away, London's not far away, So in Wrexham and outside of Wrexham, there's lots to keep students occupied.
I have a 2-1, and I'm giving offer. My tuition fee dropped to £10,500. So what should be my initial deposit?
Sure. So your initial deposit should be 50%. So if it's £10,500, we would ask for £5,250, after which we would give you your CAS. But what I would say is you can wait until after you pass your credibility interview to pay that money if you want.
Okay, so the payment plan, the installments, how many installments should I pay the balance of the tuition fee?
Interesting. So, like I said, we expect that 50% before CAS. The other 50% you can pay up to 6 months after the start of your course. Okay, so we try and give students that flexibility, and they can pay however they want. If they want to pay a little bit each month, they can do that. If they want to pay it all off in month 6, they can do that. They want to pay it all off the second week of their course, they can do that. If they want to pay 30% now, 20% later, they can do that. So it's entirely flexible on the student's budget and how the student wants to manage their money.
All right, thank you so much. So interesting. So if you heard from the horse's mouth, so Wrexham University seems to offer a very flexible tuition plan with tuition as low as 10,500 and 11,500 for people with 2-2 and below, and for undergraduate tuition as low as £9,750,000. So I will encourage every one of you looking forward to study in a prestigious universities at Wrexham University, Wales. Thank you for joining us.